Hey, welcome to the ride, y'all. Gavin Reshaw presents. I know it's been a long time since I've been back. I've just been busy moving, doing work, excuse me, all kinds of sorts of things. So I'm great to be back. Happy to be back here on YouTube, and hopefully everybody has been doing well. Woke up this morning or yesterday evening to some news. I'm reading it right here from CBS News. Title of the video: Michael Bennett, star of the Seattle Seahawks, he plays with was traded recently to the Philadelphia Eagles, was indicted by a grand jury for allegedly injuring a 66-year-old paraplegic woman when he tried to get on the field at last year's Super Bowl to celebrate with his brother Martellus Bennett. Martellus obviously was a star of the New England Patriots at that time, start tight end. He's playing for the Green Bay Packers, and oddly enough, he just recently announced he was retiring. According to reports, uh, the Pro Bowl defensive end Michael was indicted on one felony count of injury to the elderly, the Harris County District Attorney's Office announced Friday. The charge carries a penalty for up to 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. They say Bennett was a spectator at the game in Houston when he tried to get on the field immediately after the game to see his brother, a tight end for the Patriots at the time. Prosecutor said he pushed through security personnel, including a 66-year-old disabled woman who had told him to use a different entrance to access the field. Medical records show that the woman suffered a sprained shoulder. So I'm just going through this. They said the woman was injured, has been a worker with Security Management Contemporary Services since 2013, and that the company said she's an excellent employee and they're proud of her. Now, as I was going through this, and I saw the press conference, and I don't know if you saw Tariq Nasheed gave a statement on it, but I have, and as you all know, I'm an attorney. I had some issues with this. Uh, ESPN had a different version of it, and there is a full press conference, but I was able to listen to some of it, and to all from since they chop bits and pieces of it up. Usually, on their website, they'll have a video where either a sheriff or any person is speaking, and of course they edit it. And there were bits and pieces in the ESPN video that they showed, but they're basically saying Michael. The sheriff stated this, that Michael had entered into an area that he broke through. These were his words: a locked area, which I had issues with and can't understand how someone can break through a locked area onto a field. Uh, where he confronted the guards, and apparently they said he couldn't come through there. He shouted expletives and pushed through several people, including this woman who was a paraplegic. So, under the model penal code in Texas, I'm a Louisiana lawyer, but I was doing some research on the model penal code there on assault and battery, and what I found was, and I'm going to read the code to you. I thought I had it up right here. Hold on a second. Yes, here it is. It's Model Penal Texas Penal Code Penal 2204, injury to a child, elderly individual, or disabled individual. States that a person commits an offense if he intentionally, knowingly, recklessly, or with criminal negligence by act or intentionally, knowingly or recklessly by omission causes a child, elderly individual, or disabled individual to one, suffer serious bodily injury. I'll show it to you. Serious mental deficiency, impairment, or injury, or bodily injury. A person commits an offense if the person is an owner, or operator, or employee of a group home, nursing facility, assisted living facility, an immediate care facility. But that part doesn't apply. But what they're saying is that Michael knew that this woman who was a paraplegic, and I'm still trying to get over the fact that 66-year-old paraplegics doing security at the Super Bowl. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but that sounds a little off. But people have their jobs, but he is innocent until proven guilty. But I noticed that he was actually charged with this crime of one felony account of injury to the elderly, basically a battery, and Yet he pushed through several other people, according to the report that the sheriff gave, and he wasn't charged with battery against them. So it makes me wonder that they obviously wanted to get a more serious charge on Michael and use his name because he's a well-known guy. He's very outspoken, and it seems like they wanted to use him, just from what I'm looking at, to make an example out of him, especially after the protests that he and Colin Kaepernick and Marshawn Lynch, I believe his brother Martellus Bennett also is outspoken. He's spoken out against police brutality. Eric Reed. You know what's going on is that there's been a lot ever since the Colin Kaepernick incident where he took a knee. There has been this backlash against all of these athletes I've noticed that have spoken out. We saw that dumbass woman on Fox News. I can't even remember her name. It's not that she's even important, where she said that LeBron should just shut up and dribble. Basically, like he doesn't have a voice. Just basically stay in your place. What they're saying is stay in your place, boy. Uh, you see that with Eric Reed now. Eric Reed, who was a outstanding safety with LSU at one time, and I believe he played for the Redskins, and now he's with the 49ers. He was recently cut. He says he's not gonna protest and take a different approach because he lost his job. And that's the thing. If you're working for, the NFL, the NBA, or any other big private organization, they can pull the strings and pay you money. They want you to do as they say. Even off and on the field. Now, when you're on the field, obviously you're on your employer's time, but I see it's interesting. More people were upset with Kaepernick taking a knee than they were at the anthem, than they were unarmed black men being shot. And you just recently had in Seattle, I'm sorry, not Seattle, Sacramento, a young brother named Joseph Clark who got shot by the police for mistaking his girlfriend's cell phone in his hand for a gun. Go figure. But these charges seem like bullshit. Michael, I hope he has a great lawyer. Seems like they're just going after him, and they did this this was going on for a year. This happened a year ago. So, a year ago, they had this information, and now they're prosecuting this, which they can. I mean, the statute of limitations, I don't believe, had expired on it. I'm not quite sure, but, you know, I still can't get over how. And if you watch the press conference, how they describe the incident, like he bulldozed through a locked area. You got a lot of people. Number one, they get on the field at the Super Bowl. Family and friends are allowed to uh, get on the field. So I'm sure it wasn't just him that was there. But how did they know he went through this locked area? Number one, they've even said at the press conference, and you can go on ESPN, they didn't even have any video evidence of it. I believe there's also only one eyewitness who saw this incident occur. So you got to watch this. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the link up to the ESPN story on your website on the link above here when I upload this video, guys. But it's open season, as I've said before. Speak up and they put you in your place. Well, that's the only thing I wanted to say tonight, this morning, actually. Hope everybody's doing good. I'll be back to do another video, Gavin Richard Presents. I will upload this very shortly. But go on ESPN.com. They actually have the headline there.